We've actually come a long way, guys, because 3 months ago, the thought of giving ourselves so much fun money would just have been like, hell no. Do you know how much of the mortgage we could overpay with this money? Listen, guys, life is about balance, and as much as it's important to obviously reach these financial goals, pay off the mortgage, save, invest, etc., it shouldn't be to the detriment of yourself. Like, you should still have some kind of fun allocation. Before, we were just so laser focused on the fact that we just wanted to pay off our mortgage that we didn't care about anything else. But I'm like, do you know what? I can't do this anymore, innit? I just need to enjoy my life a little bit, just small, like not too much, just more enjoyment. That's all I ask for. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, thanks for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back to watch another video. It's great to have you here with me again today. So as you can tell from the topic of the title, what I'm going to be doing today is another budget walkthrough video. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is walking through my June 2021 budget and showing you how I've broken down our spending plan for the month. So in my last video, I showed exactly how my spending plans for the month of May went. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here, and I'll also have it linked in the description box below so that you can watch that after you've watched this video. In that video, you can see how I got on with my spending in May and where all my money went and how I overspent so much in some of the budget categories. In the month of June, I'm planning to switch things up a little bit. I have a plan of action as to how I'm going to try and actually make my budget work this month and actually stick to the spending plan in which I've created for myself. I've added a few more spending categories into it, and I'm hoping that will help me to have a clearer picture of exactly where my money's going. I was actually inspired by a video that I watched by the Humble Penny, where the wife Mary actually did a budget breakdown of their £49,000 salaries. I actually recorded a reaction video to that, which I'll link in the description box below, and I'll link here as well for you to watch after this video. But basically, after watching that video, I saw there was a few things that we could apply to our budget that I think will actually help, hopefully, with our spending plan for the month of June. Be more realistic with our budget categories. I think that's a big area in which we need to work on, and that's something that I've tried to implement a bit more into our budget for the month of June. So hopefully, God willing, in a few weeks time when I come back and I do a recap of my June budget, I'm going to be able to see that balance as zero, seeing that I actually stuck to the spending plan and didn't overspend in any of the budget categories. A girl can dream and a girl can wish and a girl can pray, but I'm going to try my best anyway to stick to this spending plan, in which I'm going to be walking you through now. So here we have my June 2021 budget, which I'm going to be showing you in a second. Just to let you know, in case this is your first time watching one of my budget videos, I actually sell copies of this budget template in my Etsy store and on my website, links to which will be in the description box below, and I'll also link it up here actually if it lets me, so that you can click on it and grab yourself a copy. But yeah, let's get into the numbers. So first of all, we can see that my opening balance is minus £320.06. So if you watch my May budget recap video, you will see exactly how I ended up overspending by so much and the different spending categories in which we kind of went over. But yeah, just to say, we started the month on minus £320, which is not a good start at all. It's better than I did in April, but it's still not good enough. And yeah, I definitely need to be seeing this opening balance as zero or close enough to zero, because yeah, £320, I know I could do a lot more with it in the month of June. So hopefully things can get better and we can actually start sticking to this plan that we're creating. Income, as I mentioned in many of my budgeting videos, that's not something we're comfortable disclosing right now, but yeah, income is made up of different streams. Our total is made up of our income minus that opening balance, so that's why it's important to kind of keep that opening balance as close to zero as possible so that we have more money to play with in the month. But with that being said, let's get into the breakdown for these spending categories. So first of all, we have food. I don't know if I need to change that title now given the additional breakdowns that I've done, because not everything here is actually food. First category is like food slash toiletries, I guess you can say. So with groceries, what I've done is I split that £200 budget that we have a month and made it £160 for food and £40 for toiletries. But what I've done differently is actually allocated money to takeaways. So whereas last month I didn't have a takeaway budget and we ended up spending like £173 on takeaways, this month I've actually given us a takeaway allowance, which means that we can get takeaways probably once or twice, or maybe go to a couple of restaurants in the month of June. So we have a budget, it's just a case of sticking to it, and anything above and beyond that is going to have to come out of our fun allowance for the month. So hopefully we can actually stick to this category, because this category, food, is the one category that just blows us out of the water every single month with our budget. So with this new allocation for takeaways and allocation for toiletries split away from the food budget, we can kind of get a better picture, I'm hoping, of our food spend and see exactly where we are and how we're spending our money, and then we can kind of track it month for month. Then we can look back in the month of July at our spend for the month of June and see exactly how much we spent on food versus toiletries. Whereas prior to this, it was all kind of grouped in one, so we wasn't actually sure how much of our money was going towards food versus toiletries, cleaning products, etc. So now we'll at least get a better picture of that, and then we can kind of forecast and plan better in July, August and beyond. So yeah, At the moment, 160 for groceries, 91.86 for takeaways. Lunch, I've allocated £25. I've started working now, so I'll kind of give myself a little bit of a lunch allowance, just because sometimes I go and work in Costa. As much as I say I'm going to be good and bring my coffee from home, working there all day in Costa is very hard to say no every single time, and it's very hard to stay there for the whole day and not spend a penny. In fact, I don't even know if you're allowed to do that. I think they'll probably kick me out if I just spent the whole day there and didn't buy anything. So I've allocated £25 for that in the budget. So all in all, our food budget allocation for the month of June is £316.86. And as you can see, we've already spent about £84.72 of that budget allocation. So we have about £232 left to play for the rest of the month. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to actually be able to stick to this number and stick to the spending plan. Watch this space and I'll keep you posted. Oh, actually, a good thing to mention here is I mentioned in my live that I did a couple of weeks ago now that I wanted to do a weekly budget check-in, and that is something I do want to do, but I'm conscious of the fact that I've just started working recently and I have a lot on my plate, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually record, edit and get it out on a weekly basis. So what I'm going to try and do, at least for the month of June, is do it fortnightly, see how that goes. So I'll do a mid-month check-in as opposed to a weekly check-in, and then in July I'll see if I can ramp it up to doing it weekly. But yeah, for now I'll do a mid-month check-in and then obviously the recap at the end of the month. So then we move on to home, and our mortgage is the same price every single month. It's £1,057.21, and then we've allocated £100 to overpayments this month. So like we did last month in May, rather than doing a percentage split the way it was evenly distributed in March and April, in May we kind of basically didn't do it as an even distribution for like sinking funds, emergency fund, investing and mortgage overpayments. What we decided to do again this month, because we've got our anniversary and birthdays etc coming up in July and quite big expenses coming up, we're like, okay, let's just allocate the remaining balance in the way we see fit for the month. So we're comfortable with a mortgage overpayment of £100 for the month of June, not the £500-600-700 that we would like to do, but it's better than nothing at the end of the day. So yeah, £100 mortgage overpayment is what we've allocated for the month. Council tax, so council tax is £140, so that went up a couple of months ago, and that's just the same every single month. So home expenses are £1,297.21. And then we move on to utilities. So water is the same price every single month, that's £50.15. So in total our utilities are £160.15, and so far the water bills come out and we haven't done the electricity and gas just yet. So moving on to giving. I know I sound like a broken record, but I have to say this for the benefit of those watching this video having never watched any of my previous budgeting videos. But with giving, that is something that we do on a regular basis, but it's not something that we're comfortable in disclosing the exact amounts just yet. But yeah, we do believe in giving. We actually do like to tithe as well, so that's giving a 10% of our income and some other additional charitable donations that we like to make on a monthly basis. So yeah, that's what we do there for giving. And then moving on, we have subscriptions and TV license, that's £13.43 a month. My husband's mobile phone bill is £35 a month, although last month it was £36.15, but I think that was because he probably brought a picture message or something. He hasn't received any notification to say his phone bill price is going up, so I'm assuming that was some kind of a one-off. So yeah, £35 is his mobile. Mine is obviously £40. Oh, speaking of phone bill actually, so what I did recently after the live that I did with Chloe from Chloe's Deal Club, if you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the description box below, or I'll link it up here for you to watch it after this video. But Chloe's basically a deal hunting expert, and she tells you about basically how to save money and loads of different money saving deals. So she told me about something called airtime rewards, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I never heard of it. But basically with airtime rewards, it's like a cashback site. So you see how you've got things like Top Cashback where you get cashback on your purchases, but you kind of have to purchase through their site. With airtime rewards, you don't have to do any of that work. You kind of just do your shopping and you get cashback on your shopping. So it basically links with your bank account, so it can see the transactions that you're making, and if any of those transactions are with their partners, then you get that money back. And my ears pricked up when she said Primark was one there, because I'm a Primark shopper. I love Primark and I shop there all the time. So to think I could get cashback on my Primark purchases is a no-brainer, because I'm going to be spending that money anyway. So if I can get 3% or 3.5% actually of that money back, then yeah, it's a win-win situation. And what they basically do with airtime rewards is that the cashback that you get basically goes to offset your phone bill, so your mobile phone bill, which is why I mentioned it at this point, because it just reminded me. But basically, yeah, moving forward, if I use the cashback site effectively and just come companies in which I'm shopping with are using airtime rewards, I'll basically see my mobile phone bill go down from £40 to hopefully 30 to 20 each month, depending on how much cashback I'm able to get, basically. So I'm like, oh my gosh, why did no one tell me about this? But now I know about it, I'm definitely going to use it, and that's why I'm telling you guys about it, in case you want to use it too, because if you're going to be spending that money anyway, you might as well get some of it back. And to get it back against one of your expenses that you have to pay for anyway, it just makes it seem even more tangible, and it's more impactful, I think. As much as you can get that cash back and spend it on something else, knowing that one of your bills can potentially be covered just from you downloading this app, it's just, I think it's incredible. So what I'll do actually is I'll insert my code here, which you can basically use when you download the app so that you can get a reward too. But yeah, I kind of digressed there, totally went off topic. But yeah, back to the numbers. So internet has gone up. So that was £26 a month, and it's actually gone up to £28. I mentioned in my budget recap video actually that I'm going to look at switching service providers, because I'm not happy with the fact that it just went up by £2. It's not like my service is getting any better or anything like that. They're just making extra money from me as a loyal customer. Meanwhile, I'm sure people that are joining them afresh are not even paying £28. They're the ones that get all those discounts for being a sign-on. So yeah, that's one of my assignments for the month of June, is to shop around so that I can get a cheaper internet service provider rather than paying £28 unnecessarily. Moving on, we've got Canva, and I've budgeted £10. Again, like I mentioned in previous videos, with Canva, it's obviously paid in US dollars, so that's why each month it kind of varies. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Google Drive, guys, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm always saying I need to take this Google Drive off. Every time I look at my spreadsheet, I think we need to just pay for this Google Drive, but procrastination, yeah, that's something that I deal with a lot. I just procrastinate about the most smallest things, and this is an example of one of those things. Like, guys, this has been on my budget for nearly a year now, and I haven't paid it. And I think, to be fair on my part, it's not actually my bill, which is again probably why there's less urgency for me to do it, but it's just annoying every time I see it on there, thinking I'm just paying monthly for something that's £1.59. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, hopefully I will just get it sorted. In fact, what I'll do is I'll add it to my to-do list for June. So when I'm sorting out the internet, the next thing on the list will be sort out this Google Drive. Hold me to it, guys. If you see this on my July budget walkthrough video, you need to actually shout at me in the comment section below and just tell me off and say, Tolu, go and pay off that Google Drive. Just say, Tolu, pay that Google Drive bill. Leave that in the comment section on my July budget walkthrough video if it hasn't come off. And that is the motivation and incentive that I need to actually get this thing done. Hopefully that'll be gone next month, but for now, £1.59 has been allocated for Google Drive, making our subscriptions come to a grand total of £128.02. So moving on, we've got transportation, and I've actually allocated £90 for petrol. So that's the highest that we've allocated for petrol in a while, actually. And that's because last month we used that petrol down to the last drop of petrol. Maybe not the last drop of petrol, but it was pretty low down on the emergency bar. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that again. And the reason why it went so low is because we were actually out more than I thought we would be in May. And now June has come, and June is probably going to be a bit more of the same. I have quite a few activities planned for the month of June in which we're going to be driving to. So I know we're going to be using the car a lot more this month. But what I'm trying to do differently this month is try and be more proactive, because yes, I'm thinking about the month of June. What are my plans? Where am I going to be going? What am I going to be doing? Am I going to be using the car? Yes, I'm going to be using it a lot more than usual. So let me allocate more money to petrol rather than leaving it at the same amount and then overspending and then having this big bill at the end of the month, which is what has been happening up until now. So I've allocated £90 and I filled up the tank a couple of days ago. So £60 full tank should in theory last us for the month, but we've then now got that extra £30 just in case we do need to top up the petrol again at any point this month. So yeah, that's what I've done with petrol. Maintenance, I haven't allocated anything here. Touch wood, I'm not going to regret that decision. But the car was serviced like literally a couple of months ago, and hopefully nothing goes wrong with it. Moving on, we have train. I've allocated £20 for travel in case I need to travel into the office at any point this month. So I am working remotely, but I don't know, there may be a meeting or something that I need to go into the office for. I said, let me just allocate some money for train just in case. Again, with the whole idea of me trying to be more proactive with this budget and like planning ahead rather than kind of having to make up for it later on at the end of the month. If I don't use it, then it's fine. That money can go towards something else. It's better to have it there than not. Actually, you can see I've already used some of that train fare. So I actually had to go into London. A family emergency arose, which I needed to attend, and that was £5.80. So £5.80 has already been used out of that train money. Then we've got parking. So I've allocated £10 for parking. Again, this is me over budgeting as opposed to under budgeting. Again, with what I've been saying, trying to be more proactive rather than underestimating and then being in a minor. Let me allocate more money to it, and then if I don't spend it, at least I have money left over at the end of the month rather than finishing the month on -300 like I did last month. So yeah, I've allocated £10 for parking. I'll probably only end up using £4 of it. And then I've actually allocated money for car wash this month. So last month I didn't allocate money for car wash, but we did wash the car. And if you see my car today, you would not know it was washed last month. So I think, yeah, I'm going to have to make car washing a monthly thing. So that's £15 that I've allocated for car wash. And then we move on to fun and entertainment, guys. And this is where it really gets good. The way I'm gassed here, you'll think I was allocated £500, but if you watch my videos like in April or March and you saw my fun allocations, you will understand and rejoice with me as to why I'm so excited about these allocations. And yeah, like literally, I feel like I won the lottery. I'm rich. I'm not rich, but I feel like I'm rich. Like, I'm so happy. We've actually allocated ourselves substantial fun money. I think it's substantial anyway. You may not agree, but yeah, £240 for myself and £240 for my husband. That's how much we've allocated for fun for the month of June. We've actually come a long way, guys, because 3 months ago, the thought of giving ourselves so much fun money would just have been like, hell no. Do you know how much of the mortgage we could overpay with this money? Or do you know how much we could put into sinking funds? But listen, guys, life is about balance. And as much as it's important to obviously reach these financial goals, pay off the mortgage, save, invest, etc., it shouldn't be to the detriment of yourself. Like, you should still have some kind of fun allocation. You should still be able to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. And I think that's kind of where we're at now. Before, we were just so laser focused on the fact that we just wanted to pay off our mortgage, that we didn't care about anything else. But I'm like, do you know what? I can't do this anymore. I just need to enjoy my life a little bit, just small, like not too much, just more enjoyment. That's all I asked for. Thank God we're on the same page now and we've come to a mutual agreement, and yeah, we're happy and comfortable with this fund allocation. I don't know if I can push it to 300. I'll see. Maybe next month I can see if I can kind of twist these arm a little bit more. But for now, 240 for the month of June is our fund allocation each, and the kids were given £50 each. £50 each is more than substantial. As I speak now and I'm recording this video, they've gone to football, so that £50 allocation is basically for them to do their different enrichment activities, whether it's football, whether it's swimming, kung fu, whatever it is, their activities that they're doing, that's basically their £50 spent for them to do that. And obviously, as our income rises over the coming months, God willing, we'll be able to increase that budget per child. But for now, £50 each. Listen, there was a month when they couldn't even buy a Happy Meal, so to even have £50, we've come a long ways. In total, our fund allocations is £630. That's actually nuts. Sorry, I'm just looking at that total. That's a lot of money just to go for fun. Like, yeah, that's actually hurting my heart a little bit, I can't even lie to you guys. But it's not going to hurt my heart, I guess, when we're spending the money and actually enjoying some of it. So, yeah, no. It's important to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. Like, you do have to give yourself fun allocation. And what I'm also hoping is going to happen from doing this, the temptation to overspend in other categories will be reduced, because if you do really want to buy something so desperately, then you need to buy it out of your own fund money. And if you're not going to buy it out of your fund money, then just forget it. It's not coming out of any of the other spending categories. Like, I really want us to get to that point and just be disciplined, and actually the allocations that we have for the different categories is what we need to stick to and respect. So hopefully this is something that we can get better at doing as time goes on. So then moving on anyway from fun and entertainment to an even more fun topic, it's insurance. On insurance, we've got a change on here actually. So we've got life insurance that we pay at the moment for ourselves, which is £46.74, and we've just now included life insurance for my husband's parents. So yeah, that's something that we've had a discussion about, and we think it is really actually important to start planning for the future, because as much as we don't like to talk about these things and talk about death and all the rest of it, the reality is we're all going to die one day, and what's going to happen to the family that's left behind when that time sadly finally does come. So in the same way we've kind of protected ourselves, so if I go or my husband goes, the other one of us will be okay. We want to also be able to do the same thing for our parents too. So we've done the same for my husband's parents, and we're going to do the same thing for my parents too. So yeah, insurance is important, guys. If you don't have it in place and you have family and dependents, then it's definitely something you want to think about getting. The total for insurance is now sitting at £78.38. And then we move on to childcare. So if you didn't watch my budget recap video, you might be thinking, oh, childcare, you've got something in there. You never had something in there before. But that is because, as I mentioned previously, I started working last month. So since starting my new role, I've had to enroll my youngest son in nursery, and my second son, so the middle son, he's now doing afternoon sessions at his nursery, whereas before he was only doing the morning sessions, which were free. So now I have to pay for the afternoon sessions for him, and I also have to pay for nursery for my son. But what basically is happening at the moment is these are costs that I knew were coming for a long time, so we've been putting aside money to cover those nursery fees. So as and when I need to pay those nursery fees, what I'm basically doing is taking that money for the money set aside, adding it to my income for the month, and paying those bills. So at the moment the bill for the nursery hasn't come through, but when it does come through, I'll add it to the spreadsheet and I'll add the money basically that's been set aside to pay for the nursery fees, if that makes any sense. So at the moment we've paid £96.90 for my son son's afternoon sessions, and the nursery fees, when we do pay that, I will add that to the income. So maybe in the mid-month budget check-in video, actually, you'll see exactly how much I spend on his nursery fee. So watch this space. If you haven't yet subscribed, then yeah, definitely subscribe to my channel. If you do enjoy budget updates and these kind of videos, I have lots more of them coming. So yeah, stay tuned. Moving on, miscellaneous. Now guys, this is the only category that I'm a bit skeptical about because we haven't made allocations here, and I'm like, this is the category that last month we overspent in. But because of how I've done all the other categories, I've over budgeted and added more subcategories. My logic and my thinking is that I'm not going to need to add any money to miscellaneous because all the money that I would have spent in miscellaneous has now been added to the appropriate budget categories, if that makes any sense. So miscellaneous is on 0 for this month. We'll see how this goes in the month of June. If when I do the mid-month budget check-in, I see that I've actually gone over, or I've started to spend money on miscellaneous, or even in the end of the month budget video, I see that I've spent money on miscellaneous, then this is definitely something we're going to have to consider including into the budget in the month of July, because yeah, we can't keep having overspends in the different budget categories. So yeah, at the moment it's on 0, so we'll see how that goes next month. Tax bill, as I've mentioned in previous budget videos, my husband does owe the taxman money, so he's on a payment plan for that and paying that back monthly. So £91.12, that is how much he's currently paying for that tax bill, and that's going to be going through all the way onto December. Okay, so now we move on to sinking funds, and I've allocated £300 to sinking funds, and that's going to be basically distributed between our various sinking funds. And then we move on to emergency fund. I haven't allocated anything to emergency fund for the month of June, and that's just because we have an emergency fund, to be honest, that we're quite comfortable with, and there's so many other expenses that we have that we want to pay for. So at the moment, emergency fund is like one area that we don't want to top up for now. So emergency fund basically hasn't taken priority for now, so it's still there, and we will go back to it later on in the year once we've sorted out all the other expenses that we basically have. Sorry guys, my voice sounds so crusty right now. I don't understand what's happened. Like, my battery died and my voice went, but I've come so close to this video finishing, so I'm like, no, I'm just going to crack on and get to the end of the video. So hopefully you guys can bear with me, and yeah, I'll get through this. So the last bit that I've got to show you actually is Vanguard. So that's investing. I've allocated £303.54 to Vanguard. So last month we only invested £100, so this month we're able to invest £300, which is great and fantastic. Still not where we want it to be. We ideally want to be at least investing £500 a month, but it's still something. But all in all, that's basically our allocations for the month. So that's literally my budget walkthrough for the month of June. This is my spending plan. Hopefully I can stick to this plan, guys, and actually finish on 0 for once and not minus £320.06 like I did last month. But that's literally it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this budget walkthrough. I hope the last part wasn't too painful with my voice sounding like I don't even know what I sound like right now, and I don't understand what's going on actually, to be honest. I tried to drink water thinking that will make it come back, but it's not come back yet. It still sounds really weird, but it is what it is. I got to the end of the video and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below how your budget went for May and your spending plans for the month of June. Have you done your June budget? Will you do a June budget? Let me know what you think of my budget walkthrough, and if you would be interested in seeing that mid-month check-in like I mentioned. So that would come out, I guess, around the 15th of June. On or around that date would be when I do the mid-month check-in, and then do the final close one early July. So let me know if that's something you guys want to see in the comment section below. But yeah, that's literally it for this video, guys. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, definitely follow me on Instagram, because I definitely post a lot more frequently on there than I do on here. And also, if you want to grab a copy of my budget tracker like I mentioned earlier on in the video, you can grab it from my Etsy store or my website, which I'll link in the description box below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.